my garden. If you're new here, my name is Angela. I'm located in central Mississippi, zone 8B. And as you can see, it's kind of a cloudy, rainy, yucky day for us. It did rain on yesterday and it rained and had a good bit of wind today. And I'm kind of coming outside in between the rain showers. So I'm hoping I don't get wet, but we'll see. And if so, we'll have to get wet together. But what are you doing? Y'all, this thing right here just being bad and just wants all kinds of pets and just to keep bothering me. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to bring you on a short walk through my garden today. We're going to do a follow up on the companion planting just to see how things are going, if any pest damage or anything like that, if we can see any so far. It's been about about 2 weeks since we've started this whole companion planting process and companion planting journey that we're doing. So we're going to see and we're going to try to do weekly updates to let you know how it's going, what's working, what's not working, when we start seeing pest damage. That way you can kind of get an idea of how early in the season I started and when the pests started really attacking my garden, even with the companion planting. So that's what I want to get an idea. This whole season is going to be kind of like a big test. Like I've told you before, I've done companion planting before, and it did work. It didn't work very well, but it did help. But this year, I'm throwing guns blazing at it, so I'm going all in this year with the companion planting, and so that's why I really want to see if all the companion planting that I'm doing is truly working, and if so, what can I add next year to make it work even better. So we'll do a quick walkthrough just to see how everything's doing. Now, please keep in mind that it just rained. Will you stop? Stop. Ugh. This thing right here, y'all, he just keeps rubbing right on up against my leg, driving me nuts and trying to knock me over. So I I can't play with you right now. I'll play with you in just a minute, okay, Timmy? I'll play with you in just a minute. All right, boy. So sorry about that. He just wants pets and to play, and I'll play with him in a minute. So, because if not, he'll just continue till I stop and play with him. So, in between the rain showers, we're going to get a quick view of it, walk through, see what's going, what's growing, and just see what else happening. So, let's get started. Alrighty, starting up in this front side. Um, starting up in this front side, we have our dianthus, our peppers, all the stuff that we planted this past Sunday. Looking really good, looking really happy. Everything, our straw flowers, our roselle or Jamaican sorrel is looking good. The peppers that are up here are looking great. That really think that's a daylily or it's a calla lily or a day. I know it's a lily. I'm just not sure which kind. So this is going to be, like I said before, this is going to be our bed for our sweet potatoes. So we're waiting on those right now. But our stevia that's in there is looking great. We have a little 3 peppers right here. And then there's a little moringa tree that's right there in the back. And then a black-eyed Susan and some peppers in the front side. Then this is our pepper bed up here. Most of this is sweet peppers or bell peppers. And then there may be 1 or 2 um, hot peppers. Well, I think there's 3 hot peppers in there. That's it, just 3 hot peppers. So that's all that's in there. So everything is looking really good. The peppers are looking really happy. They're putting on growth. Those dwarf marigolds that we planted out and then some of the seeds that we started are coming up and they're looking happy and good too. Moving on over to this side, we have our safflowers that are, you can see the new growth on them. The bottom leaves don't look very good, but this new growth at the top is looking really good and really happy. We have some marigolds in there. And of course, I had a big drop of rain right down my screen. So we have green beans, bush beans that are planted throughout here with the roselle or Jamaican sorrel. So they're all looking really good. And again, just like I said, keep an open mind. Everything's kind of laid over. Well, some of the things are laid over because of the wind, but some of them are still standing up straight. Um, this back bed right back here, this has tomatoes and basil and stuff like that. These are younger tomatoes right here, so that's why they're really on the small side. We just planted those out this past Sunday, but the ones that we did 2 weeks ago, you can see they're almost touching the trellis. So it's almost time to start trellising those up, and I'm really happy for that. That means I'm going to get a good early crop of tomatoes, but I'm going to bring you along with me when it's time to prune because I can see suckers are starting to come up and it's time to prune those bottom leaves too. But onions are looking really good too. So I'm really happy for this. Yay. This back bed, you can see we have more marigolds that are about to bloom right here. Our tomatoes are looking good. Our onions are still good. Um, these Kajari melons are putting on new growth and they're just looking really, really good. Like I said, this wind and stuff just kind of pushed everything back and down, but everything's looking really nice. And y'all, this bulge right here, this is our radishes that are coming up. They are coming up so quick. So they're a real quick crop to turn around, but like I said, those really help with the cucumber beetles and supposedly supposed to help with vine borers, but we're gonna really try and test that out this year. So I have radishes everywhere. So this bed up here, we have our sweet corn that's looking really nice and lovely coming up through here. And then our butternut squash that's back here. Don't you get in there. Our butternut squash that's in there is looking really, really nice. Those first initial leaves don't look too great, like that one right there. But all the new growth is just looking really awesome. Get out of the bed. Come on, out of the bed, out of the bed, out. So, y'all, I've been really lucky with him. He doesn't poop or anything in my garden beds. He poops in his bucket up there, but that doesn't stop him from getting in the garden beds. So, all right, our calendula bed, our chicory's looking really nice. Our calendula is blooming and they're just looking really beautiful. Y'all, I can't wait for this one to bloom right here. Finishes blooming because it's looking gorgeous right now. But our sunflowers in the back are getting up there and growing. Why did you scratch me? I will pay attention to you in a minute. Our green stalk that we planted out and had a little chat together with strawberries, that one's looking good. And you can see those strawberries are just looking awesome back there. Up here are comfrey and gomphrena and safflowers that are here, and our sunflowers are looking good too. Alrighty, moving on to potatoes. I'm not sure what's going on with these bottom leaves. I think it's more because they're down in the bottom, so the sun's not getting to them. And I believe that's what's going on with this. But I'm gonna do a little bit more research just to be sure because the tops are all green and beautiful. So I don't know what's going on with those bottom leaves, but that may be from the the freeze we had a couple weeks ago too. So, but like I said, and this is throughout the bottom on the inside of here. And it's not just these, it's like throughout all of them. But I'm definitely going to look into that and see what that is and try to figure that out. But like I said, the greens, the tops, they're looking really nice. Everything's happy and good. So we're good with these. We planted out okra this past Sunday, so the okra's looking lovely and has bounced back up and just happy as it could be. And our onions in this bed are good. Back there we have just a minute. Okay, sorry about that. My son called me and needed me for something. He's a senior in high school. The youngest one is a senior in high school this year and has a project he's working on, and I had to go help him really, really quick. So, but back to the tour. Well, it's not a tour. We're checking on things to see how companion planting is going. This in this bucket is a Armenian cucumber. This is one of the ones that we planted out on Sunday as well. And then I also went ahead and dropped some dwarf marigold seeds in there. So we're waiting on those to come up. And y'all, that mint right there, this planet right there, I planted mint back in this area right here about 6 years ago. And it dies and it comes back, and it dies and it comes back. But I love that because it's mojito mint, and I love to have me a mojito. So I'm really happy with that. All right, moving on to this bed here. As you can see, we have our jack-o'-lantern pumpkins right here. They have lots of new growth. They are just looking so freaking good. It ain't even funny how good they look. So I'm really happy with those. Then we have our marigolds that are still here and kicking. The only thing that we don't have is right here. I had a Merlaton or a chayote squash that was there. Apparently, when the freeze came a couple weeks ago, I didn't protect it just good enough, so the roots froze and it did die. So I have to get another one to put in the place of it. But the other one that I had right here is growing back just perfectly fine. So I'm happy with it and it's looking really good. The basil, the wind kind of blew it over, and the oh, excuse me. And then you can see the little bulges through the straw. That's going to be our radishes that we've planted out through here. So you should be able to see them really well in the next couple of days. And again, that radishes are supposed to help with leaf miners, cucumber beetles, and vine borer. So I did a little bit of research. It said that they do work for vine borers, but we're going to keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. And if that works for vine borers, I will be ecstatic. So, so between the radishes, the marigolds, the basil, the onions, hopefully I should get a good bit of squash and stuff this year, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed with that. And y'all, please don't look at all the grass growing in my beds. I really need to come out here and weed. So that's going to be a project for later this week, or probably tomorrow or Saturday. That'll be what I'll come out here and do, weed a bed real quick. So, but we have more marigolds here. That's a basil. Like I said, they're just everything's laid over right now. This is a watermelon plant. And then those two are sugar baby watermelons, and that is a hybrid diploid watermelon. And this year, what I'm doing with well, most of my melons, all of my melons except the Kajari melons. The Kajari melons are going to grow on the trellis, but all my other melons, my pumpkins, cantaloupes, all that stuff, they're going to spill over the edge of the bed and just cover all this black fabric. I have a dream of that's what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna have my these two watermelons are gonna come out this side and just spill out through here. They're gonna grow, they're gonna do their own thing, and they're gonna be happy and beautiful, and all is gonna be good in the world. And that's my hope with it. So we'll see how that works out as the season goes on. And then, oh, I wanted to show you on the back side here, you can't really tell, but this is our bean plants, our pole beans that we put in a couple weeks ago for to do as companion planting with our potatoes. So they're starting to climb up the trellis here, so that's looking really good. And they're kind of all along through here, all along through this bottom right here. You just can't really tell because everything's so green. It's really happy. And y'all, let me tell y'all, I have seen my first couple of hummingbirds. I bought these little plastic feeders from the Dollar Tree, and I have like three of them set up throughout my garden. But I make my own uh, nectar that goes in them. And y'all, the hummingbirds have just been going crazy for it. And it just makes me so happy to come outside and see them. So Timmy, what are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Mean thing. What you doing? Yeah, he wants me to stop and play with him, and I won't stop and play with him, so he's a little upset with me right now. So back here in this back, we have our basil and a few onions, some thyme, uh, a blue butterfly pea plant right there. We also planted out some lettuces, some muir lettuces the other day, and they have doubled in size since I planted them up in these pots right here. So I'm really happy and that's looking really good. Same thing here on this one. There's two muir lettuces, and then these two back here have carnations in them, and they've already doubled in size as well. Then over here we have more garlic, and then we have some basil here, And then this blue butterfly pea plant has already started to climb. You can see it wrapped around that post right there, which just makes me ecstatic and happy. So, and then up here, our bachelor's buttons are looking really nice. And then our basil, not basil, my goodness, dill, parsley, a few onions, and then kale and celery and all that stuff that's right here is looking really good. Really happy. So that's really good. Next up, the gem corn, you can see it's laid over again. That's just that wind that came through. And then ever since I moved my uh, spinach right here, you can see the middles have really started to green up and they're just looking really, really lovely now, or starting to, because you can see those outer leaves were turning yellow and just looking really bad. But since I moved it right here into the shade, it gets a lot more shade here and it's a lot cooler. They're really starting to green up and look good now. These onions are looking good here, so everything's happy. Our stevia is putting on some serious growth, as well as our black-eyed Susan and daisies we have right here. So they're all looking really nice. We have some zinnias that are coming up too, so they're looking gorgeous and just not flowering yet, but they're looking good. Our squash right there is looking good too. And then we have a couple pepper plants, some marigolds, and then we already have our pepper plants right here. I don't know if you can see that. We got our first little pepper coming. This is I believe this is a jalapeno early. So this is a jalapeno plant, and this is our first pepper that's coming on right there. So these were planted several weeks ago in these bags, and I kept them in the greenhouse, but they're thriving and they're looking real happy. More radishes are coming up right here because these are our bait alpha cucumbers, and they're putting on new growth and looking really good too. Everything kind of struggled when I first planted it out, but now it's kind of gotten over that and it's looking good. So these burpless bush cucumbers are looking good too. These are a bush variety, that one and this one right here. So they're looking good, putting on new growth. Our borage here is looking good, as well as the one right there. But again, y'all, the wind just kind of went bloop and laid them over. Here we have a cantaloupe here and a cantaloupe here. And again, the same theory here is just to let it spill over the side, go down on this fabric and do its thing. Some of our tomatoes are just kind of laid over and they're just like, we're here, but we're making it. So our marigolds are starting to all kind of showing blooms. A few zinnias in that bed. These small sugar pumpkins have really put on a lot of growth. So they're really, really happy with where they are. Let's see here. Yeah, everything, these tomatoes are looking really great. Like I said before, it's almost time to start pruning and then getting those suckers off. And when I'm doing that, I'll bring you along with me. This green stalk here is looking good too with the strawberries. We have onions here. There's a kiwi that's coming back right there, and then we have a couple strawberry plants throughout here. We're on the back side of our peppers, and then our blueberry plants are finally starting to bush out, and y'all, they are doing so much better than they did last year. I think they're finally happy. Their roots are cool. We got some of the mulch laid down. I do have some more that I have to come and put down, but some of it is laid down. I still have to go through and pull some of the grass that's right there. I gave them a good berry fertilizer and acidic solidifier, so they're really, really nice. And y'all just look at all the the blooms that are on there. So you can see they're really doing well, and this one's really showing out. This one bloomed first and already has the blooms on it, and it's not completely covered, but it's doing a lot better than it did last year. So I'm really happy with that, y'all. Very happy with that. This front bed up here, these strawberries are doing awesome. I've been using a berry tone fertilizer on my strawberries, and y'all, the berries have just been so stinking sweet and delicious. I mean, even the little bitty ones that don't quite turn all the way red, they're still kind of like a half yellowish green and a red color. They're just so freaking delicious and sweet and just like, oh my God. But it has elephant garlic that's planted in here with it. But like I said, these berries are just they're so stinking delicious. And the only pest damage that I've seen that I've come across is slugs. You can see it right there. Slugs have been coming in. I know one is a bird. I had a bird that was coming out here and getting my berries, but I still come out here last night and seen slugs on it too. So that's a combination of slugs and birds. These the tomatillos that I have up here in this bag, you can see they're kind of laid over and just looking real droopy, but again, that's mostly because of the rain. You can see like this one right here is just really, the new growth looks really good. Everything looks happy on it, but it's just kind of laid over. I'm gonna have to get a little stick and stake him up real nice and tall. I'm gonna have to do it to this one too, and probably this one too. But I'll get that done. Um, our Dollar Tree stackable. I showed y'all before. I mean, even it has rained, but the soil stays so moist, so dark. These strawberries, the ones that are still alive, there's like two that ended up dying or really didn't leaf out like they're supposed to. It's not that they died, they just didn't leaf out like they're supposed to. But the strawberries that are leafed out and looking gorgeous are just doing absolutely great. So I am really happy with this. Um, I have moved it a couple times. It was right over here on the other side of this bed. It was getting sun, but not, I wasn't really happy with the location. Then at one point I had it up on my porch. Another point I had it back there on the backside. And then finally I was like, no, I want it right here at the end. So I moved it to the end of this bed. This is tomatoes, it's all through here. I moved it to the end of that bed onto two bricks. It's very easy to spin right there. And I don't forget about it. It's right here in my face. So I'm loving it right here. And I think I'm actually going to go and get me some more. I'm probably going to get like three more of the stackables from Dollar Tree and maybe put some lettuce or something in them because or I may do some zinnias or some dwarf marigolds in them because they're just doing so stinking good right here. Like, I didn't think that I would like this as much as I do, but I'm loving this. It's just high enough. It's just great enough. It spins just easily. You can modify the bottom to where you can use different spinners if you want to go splurge a little bit and get a better spinner. You can definitely do that. But like I said, all of this for 20 bucks, I'm happy. So, but moving on. Over here we have some more strawberry plants in here, and then we also have some gentry squash. These leaves right here were some of the first ones that were on there, so you can see those at the bottom. But all the new growth that's on there is looking really, really nice. Let me get this out of the way. Grass. So I really need to come through and weed. But the new growth is looking really nice. So I'm happy with this. And then since we took out the broccoli that was all in this bed, we pulled it all out because it was starting to bolt. But we pulled them all out of both of these beds. You can see the green now. The squash is really starting to green up. They're looking really, really good. They're very happy. There's borage, there's basil, there's the onions, there's marigolds, there's all kinds of stuff in here. So I'm really happy with what's going on so far. And I have not seen any pest pressure, no aphids, no anything so far. So moving over here to the bed beside it, we have tomatoes. And again, tomatoes are just laid over. Our carrots are still looking lovely. Our celery is getting huge. So it's almost time for me to start really harvesting some of the celery. I make my own celery salt, so I will bring you along as I do that and show you how I make my celery salt. The green onions that we have here, the bunching onions, are looking good too. We have a couple of zinnias right there, and then like I said, just everything is just looking so freaking great. I'm just so happy. So yeah, but oh, and then these are our pole beans, and like I told y'all before, I did a read or research a little bit, and it says that onions are supposed to inhibit the growth of pole beans or of beans, period, like bush bean plants or anything. It's supposed to inhibit the growth of them. These were planted 2 days after the pole beans that are on the trellis where the potatoes are, and y'all can see the growth on them. So I'm really doing an experiment on this year to see how this turns out, and it looks like it's doing really good so far. There is something coming and eating the leaves. That's kind of jagged, so I'm thinking this is going to be slugs too. Um, Either a slug or a snail. Something's coming and grabbing them. It's not getting all of them. It's just like one, two, just them two leaves. Yeah, you can see it's just these two leaves. Oh, like right here too. Just like a few leaves. But that's on the pole bean plant. I'm not worried about that. You look at my squash. Look how beautiful those leaves are. I mean, this one is the size of my hand already. So I mean, put my hand under there, right here. I mean, it's literally the size of my hand already. So, and they're just a couple weeks old. So I'm really happy with how these are turning out. Finishing off this tomato bed that's beside here. Again, those bunching onions are just really like, bam, here I am. So, the potatoes that are in this bed, again, they're just laid over, and as you can see, there's the yellowing down in this too. So I'm really thinking this has to do with being that they're so bushy and big on top that was the leaves and stuff underneath aren't getting the sunlight and things that they're needing. So that's what's going on, but I'm really going to research that more. Alrighty, we have a zinnia here, and then we do have some radishes that should be coming up in here, and some beets as well. This is a hybrid specialty cucumber. We did have two of these in here, but one of them had transplant shock, so it wasn't thriving. I said I'm not going to keep something in my garden that's not thriving, so it didn't do worth anything. So it had to go. So it got pulled out. That one's doing good, but I've already dropped some seeds for another, so that should be coming up. Should be coming up soon. Alrighty, our potatoes back here in the buckets are doing well. They're really happy, so they're doing great. And I don't see any of the yellowing on those, except, well, this right here. But this is from the freeze a couple weeks ago. It's still kind of building back up from that freeze on that one, but everything else is kind of bounced back really well. So, the Barbados cherry. Oh, look at there. It's gonna start flowering soon, y'all. Look at that right there. I am so freaking happy with that. Yay! Whoop whoop! Look, go me, go me. Sorry about that, y'all, but I'm just so happy. These things are so delicious. When I was a friend of mine that lives up the street from me, her brother, gifted me this plant, and I thought I had killed it. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I had killed it, but it ended up growing back, and I've kept it alive since it grew back, and that was like 2 years ago. No, a year and a half ago. So this is going to be my second time getting cherries off of this, and y'all seeing those flowers on there just makes me so happy because those cherries that are on there are so sweet, so delicious, just like, oh, they're so good. But anyway, moving on. These are our determinate tomatoes. Y'all, that wind that came through here with that rain, just crazy. All right, so these are our determinate tomatoes right here, and these do grow to a determinate height, and as you can see, they're already starting to flower. I think all of them have flowers on them so far. Yes, some have flowers that aren't open yet, like this one right here. And that one has some flowers that are open. But what these will do, these will get to a determined height. Once they get there, they'll put off even more flowers. The tomatoes will pretty much grow all at one time, and then you'll get a big harvest at once, and then that'll be it. you'll have to cut the plant back and it's time to go kaput for it. So, but for now they're looking good and they're really happy. So, moving on to my improved Meyer lemon tree. It's looking good. It looks better than what it did the other day. I gave it some citrus fertilizer. I come out here and gave it a water soluble citrus fertilizer, so it's looking a lot better than what it was. It's starting to flower out again. The lemons that are on here, the babies, like that right there, are looking better. Everything's looking happy. We have a nice size one right there. So they're looking really, really good. So I'm happy with that. I'm glad that I decided to put it into the ground and let it go from there. So I'm really happy with this. My blackberries, these are my thornless blackberries. I think these are the Navajo, if I'm not mistaken. I believe so. I don't remember, but they spread underground, and I'm letting them spread all along this back fence. But as you can see, I'm getting buds already right there. There's buds all over this plant through here. All that has already sprouted out with all through there, sprouted out with leaves is starting to bud up. So I am really, really happy with that. So I'll be getting blackberries soon. With my blackberries, I share with my birds. So the birds come, they take what they want. As long as I get a harvest, they can get a harvest. But they better not touch my Barbados cherry tree. That sucker will get covered and me and them will fight. So, all right, moving on to my Satsuma tree. I still have little Satsumas that are still coming out, and this again is still flowering. I gave it some citrus fertilizer the other day as well. So you see it has lots of new growth and is doing its thing. Um, our what do you call that? Muscadine grapes, the other grapes that we have along the fence, they're still waking up. You can kind of see some of the greenery on the fence there. They're still waking up. Everything's kind of still waking up and flowering. So I'll do a more deep and in-depth garden tour and show all of that. But y'all, I can't wait to show y'all the project that happens right here. That's just a little sneak peek, but I can't wait for that to be finished and show y'all that. That's going to be awesome. So alrighty, so this is the garden overview. Like I said, we're just following up to see how everything's going, how the companion planting is going, how it's looking, what's happening. I mean, just everything. I plan to do a weekly update as far as the companion planting is going, because if it works for me, and if you're in my area or an area similar to mine, it should work for you. So you never know until you try, and the only way to do it is to try, to get out there to plant it, to see what happens. So that's my goal with this year, is to get out there to plant it, to show you, hey, this is what's happening. This is what happens at this time of the year. This is what happens at this week, or stuff like that. So it's just to show you and be like, yeah, this is what it is. This is how long my garden went without any pest damage. So, but the further the season goes, the more we get into it, to see how everything's going, how everything's growing, to see when the pests finally move in and try to attack. Because I'm sure there's some pests that have already tried. Well, I don't like saying it that way. I'm sure there's some bad pests that have already tried to come in and hit some of my plants, but with the companion planting and the good insects, the beneficial pollinators, the beneficial insects that I've attracted to my garden, they took care of them before I even noticed them. So, I mean, because y'all would not believe the birds that fly through here throughout the day. You would not believe the frogs and the lizards and the ladybugs and the praying mantises and just the wasp that's out here during the day. Y'all just would not believe. I come out here some days and I'm like, I don't want to get stung, so I'm just not going to go out there today. So, but I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with the way things are turning out so far. And so far, everything's looking good. It looks like it's going to be a very positive year. So I'm just looking forward to this year. But if you like the content, you want to follow along with me on this journey to possibly learn something new, to learn what to do or what not to do in your garden, I really invite you along with me to see what's going, to see what's growing. And I'm really glad for each of you that stops and watches the video. If you want to leave a comment down in the comment section, I really love when people offer advice, or they let me know something they want to see, or something extra they want. That I really do like that. Like, I had one lady say that she wants to see more of the chickens and stuff, and now we're going to be starting, what do you call it? I'm going to be transitioning just a little bit, since my garden is planted out and it's kind of in the growing phase. Before harvest season hits, I will be doing some more videos with things that I'm going to be doing with my chickens, like cleaning out the pen, setting up their new run area, um, incubating eggs, growing chicks, all that stuff. I will bring you along as I do all that stuff. So that's going to be one of the new things that I'll be kind of transitioning over and focusing on a little more. We'll still do our garden tour, and we'll still do the updates for the companion planting, but it'll be transitioned more to the animals and different things and projects. And y'all, I don't know if y'all can see it. No, it flew away. There's like three little hummingbirds. I don't know if I can see it on here. That you can barely see it flickering around. I love the little hummingbirds. Can you see it right there? Oh my gosh, I just love the little hummingbirds. Sorry about that. Some people know me, I'm just like, "Oop, squirrel." But I love the little hummingbirds. That's why I have all the little feeders out, and I just love to come outside and see them. And it brings such joy to my heart, and just makes me so happy when I see stuff like that. But anyways, I'm starting to ramble, and I don't want to ramble, but I really appreciate each of y'all, and I thank you for spending your time with me. And from my garden to yours, happy gardening.